When Kingdom of Shanxi, the city of Chang'an, stood as the capital of successive dynasties. Since the Zhou, Qin, and Han dynasties, the region had flourished, with 3 provinces as splendid as brocade and 8 rivers flowing around the city. It was truly a land of magnificence. At that time, Emperor Taizong of the Chen dynasty had ascended the throne and established the Chen Guangrue era. 13 years had passed since his coronation in the year of Zhaisai. The world was at peace, and tribute was sent from all directions, with nations far and wide submitting to his rule. One day, Emperor Taizong held court, gathering his civil and military officials. After the morning ritual, Prime Minister Wei Zhen stepped forward and said, "Now that the world is peaceful and the people are at ease, we should follow the ancient tradition of holding an imperial examination to recruit talented scholars and appoint them to serve in governance." Emperor Taizong replied, "Your suggestion is reasonable." He then issued an imperial decree, proclaiming throughout the land that all prefectures and counties, regardless of military or civilian status, should encourage literate scholars proficient in classical text and essay composition to travel to Chang'an to participate in the examination. He reached Haizhou, where a man named Chen courtesy named Guangrue, saw the announcement. He immediately returned home and said to his mother, "The imperial court has issued an edict to hold examinations and recruit talented individuals. I wish to go and participate. If I succeed in obtaining an official position, I can bring honor to our family and elevate our name. This has always been my aspiration. I seek your permission, dear mother." His mother, Madame Zhang, replied, "My son, you are a scholar. Learn when young, act when grown. This is as it should be. However, on your journey, be careful. If you succeed, return home as soon as possible." Guangrue instructed his servant to prepare his belongings, bid farewell to his mother, and set off swiftly. Upon arriving in Chang'an, he found that the imperial examination was already in progress. Guangrue entered the examination hall and performed outstandingly. After passing the initial tests, he participated in the final policy examination, where Emperor Taizong himself awarded him the title of Shuangyuan, top scholar. In celebration, he was granted the honor parading through the streets for 3 days. Parade, he passed by the residence of Prime Minister Yin Kaishan. At that moment, Yin's daughter, Wen Jiao, also known as Manchen Jiao, who was unmarried, was conducting a soap-ball filling ceremony to choose a husband. When she saw Guangrue, his extraordinary talent and appearance immediately captivated her. Recognizing him as the newly appointed top scholar, she was overjoyed and tossed the embroidered soap-ball, which landed squarely on his official hat. At once, the sound of flutes and string music filled the air as a dozen maidservants descended from the building, seized Guangrue's horse, and escorted him into the Prime Minister's residence for the wedding. The Prime Minister and his wife appeared, and, following proper ceremonies, betrothed their daughter to Guangrue. The couple exchanged vows before heaven and earth, then bowed to each other as husband and wife, and finally paid their respects to their new parents-in-law. The Prime Minister ordered a grand banquet in celebration, and the newlyweds spent their wedding night together. At dawn, as the palace court convened, Emperor Taizong sat on his golden throne, surrounded by his ministers. He asked, what position should the newly appointed top scholar, Chen Guangrue, receive? Prime Minister Wei Zhang responded, "After reviewing the available positions, I found that the prefecture of Jiangzhou currently lacks a governor. I humbly request your majesty to appoint him to this post." Zhang approved the recommendation, appointing Guangrue as the governor of Jiangzhou and instructing him to depart without delay. Guangrue expressed his gratitude, left the court, and returned to the prime minister's residence. After discussing with his wife, he bid farewell to his in-laws and set off with his wife for his new post in Jiangzhou. As they left Chang'an, it was late spring. A warm breeze swayed the green willows, and light rain scattered petals across the ground. Guangrue decided to visit his hometown first. Upon arrival, he and his wife bowed before his mother, Madame Zhang. She congratulated him, saying, "My son, not only have you achieved success, but you have also returned with a wife." Guangrue replied, "Mother, thanks to your blessings, I have been honored as the top scholar and granted a public parade. As I passed by Prime Minister Yan's residence, I have been to catch the embroidered ball, and he graciously bestowed his daughter upon me. The imperial court has now appointed me as the governor of Jiangzhou, and I have come to bring you with us." Madame Zhang was overjoyed and prepared for the journey. After several days of travel, they stopped at one wedding inn, owned by a man named Liu Shao. Suddenly, Madame Zhang fell ill. She told Guangrue, "I feel unwell. Let me rest here for a couple of days before we continue." Wei agreed. The next morning, outside the inn, he saw a fisherman selling a golden carp. Intrigued by its flashing, lively eyes, Guangrue recalled the saying, "A fish or snake with such eyes is no ordinary creature." He asked the fisherman, "Where did you catch this fish?" The fisherman replied, 15 miles from here, in the Han River." Guangrue immediately purchased the fish for 1 string of coins and released it back into the river. When he told his mother about it, she was delighted and said, "Releasing a life is a good deed. I am very pleased." After 3 days, Guangrue told his mother, "Mother, the deadline for my appointment is urgent. May I ask if you feel well enough to travel?" Madame Zhang replied, "I am still unwell, and the weather is hot. I feel that traveling now will worsen my condition. You and your wife should go ahead. Rent a house for me here, leave me some money for expenses, and return to fetch me once autumn arrives and the weather cools." Guangrue and his wife discussed the matter and agreed. They rented a house for Madame Zhang, provided her with money, and tearfully bid farewell before continuing their journey. It was long and difficult, and they traveled by day and rested at night. Eventually, they reached the Han River ferry port, where 2 boatmen, Liu Hang and Li Biao, offered to take them across. However, fate had a cruel twist. Guangrue had unknowingly encountered his adversaries. As Guangrue and his wife boarded the boat, Liu Hang saw Lady Yan's extraordinary beauty. Her face is round as the full moon, her eyes like autumn waters, delicate cherry lips, and a slender waist like a green willow. She was truly a woman of dazzling beauty, capable of making fish sink and geese fall from the sky. Last built Liu Hang's heart, and he conspired with Li Biao. Under the cover of night, they murdered Guangrue's servant and then struck Guangrue, throwing his body into the river. Lady Yin, seeing her husband killed, tried to throw herself into the water, but Liu Hang caught her and threatened, "If you obey me, all will be well." If not, you will meet the same fate. Desperate and powerless, Lady Yin had no choice but to submit, while Liu Hong stole Guangrue's official documents and identity and assumed his role as governor of Jiangshou. Meanwhile, Guangrue's body sank to the bottom of the river, but a patrolling sea spear reported it to the Dragon King of the Han River. Recognizing Guangrue as the man who had saved his life, the Dragon King revived him and kept his body preserved, awaiting the day he could reclaim his life and seek revenge